Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And I never thought I would see the day I would have to rant and defend a kicker in the NFL to be Super Bowl MVP and talk about how he was snubbed from being Super Bowl MVP. I never thought in a million years I would be making a video like this. Never. Never in a million years would I ever think I would defend a kicker that should have been Super Bowl MVP. But I'm going to do it because he should have. Holy shit. So Jason Myers, the kicker for the Seattle Seahawks, kicked 5 field goals for the Seattle Seahawks, 2 extra points. He made everything. He had a total of 17 points. Put in context, he got more points than Drake May did for the Patriots this entire game. Going into the fourth quarter, I think it was the third, they were winning 12-0. They were winning 12-0. Because I think, wait, hold on. Yes. Going into the fourth quarter, the Seattle Seahawks were winning 12-0 on the back of Jason, the kicker, kicking 4 field goals at that point, which tied an NFL record, okay, for the Super Bowl. He did kick another one towards the end of the game to break the record and have the most successful kicked field goals in NFL history. He's the Super Bowl MVP. And the NFL rigged it. We have evidence because it was all over social media. So, you know how the NFL has the Super Bowl MVP website where you can click the player you want to be the Super Bowl MVP? Well, when they first opened that up in the middle of the third quarter, Jason was not an option. And people on social media were capping it. They were literally showing it. There's a video evidence on multiple different tweets that showed that he was not an option to vote on for the players for both teams. Now, 15 minutes after it comes up, he mysteriously is put on the ballot for people to vote for. Then about 5 minutes before the game ended in the fourth quarter, they mysteriously took him off again, and then 5 minutes later, they restored him back on the ballot, but much closer up instead of just being all the way at the bottom like he originally was when they put him on. So the NFL, in my opinion, clearly rigged it for the kicker to not win it, to try and take away votes from the kicker because he was not an option for most of the time when the poll was critically up. And also there are network executives that have a say in it as well. It was clear as day that they weren't going to give it to him. Now, I highly disagree Walker should have gotten it because if you're going to not give it to the kicker, you have to give it to a defensive guy. Okay? Now, the argument is, well, he had over 135 yards rushing. He set up the points for the kicker to get, but there's no guarantee that they are going to get those points. There's no guarantee because a kicker can miss a field goal. There's no guarantee. And again, the game plan strategy for the game for the first 3 quarters, the Patriots were forced to throw the ball more to try and get first downs because they couldn't run the ball against Seattle's defense. Defense was too lethal. Okay, so those field goals were critical because if the Patriots, if it was still 0-0 going into the fourth quarter, for example, or if it was just 3-0 going into the fourth quarter, do you really think New England was going to risk throwing the ball? They would have tried to run the ball like they did against the Denver Broncos in the AFC Championship game when it was a low-scoring game. So and I was arguing this on my Discord server as well, is like, yes, he did play an important role in them winning the game because the way the defenses and offenses were playing, because going into the fourth quarter, they were winning 12-0 because he kicked 4 field goals that put the Seattle Seahawks up that much with the 3-point field goal. Yes, it's low, but the way the Patriots offense wasn't able to move the ball against that deadly Seattle Seahawks defense, that was all they needed. So the kicker was important. And yes, we couldn't give the Super Bowl MVP to the defense as an entity, which I think, if that was a thing, then obviously give it to the entire defense. But obviously Super Bowl MVP is an individual player award, so you only can give it to one person. Okay? So in that sense, I say you have to give it to the kicker. You can't give it to Walker. Okay? Well, if you're going to give it to anyone besides the kicker, first of all, it had to be a defensive guy. Okay? Guy who caused the fumble for the first turnover for the Seahawks, because I think at that point, they were knocking on the door, and then they got that, and then, they had to go back to square one. Then, of course, obviously the Patriots did score a touchdown in the fourth quarter, and, it looked like the Patriots might somehow answer a comeback, and then the next play throws an interception. Why not give it to him? Obviously, when they got the second interception, which was returned for a touchdown, that was kind of a little later in the game, which is probably why they weren't even considering Witherspoon. Again, if you're not going to give it to the kicker, it had to go to a defensive player because the defense won the game. But you want to know what was the biggest insult of him, besides him not winning Super Bowl MVP, because that was insulting to the audience and everybody. The biggest fucking insult and disrespect in this whole situation is when they did the Super Bowl presentation of the Vince Lombardi Trophy. The kicker was nowhere to be found, and not one of those fucking teammates or coaches ever fucking mentioned him and his importance to them winning that game. He was never mentioned once. He never got a shout out. He never got fucking anything. And that infuriated me. How dare you not fucking mention this guy on that podium when everybody is talking? I don't give a fuck if this is going to be controversial, because what those players just did was the biggest fucking insult in my fucking opinion. How fucking dare all those fucking players not mention this guy? This guy fucking got a record amount of kicks in the Super Bowl. He's the reason why you led for 3 fucking quarters, and you're not going to even mention him? You're not going to mention his importance to you guys winning that fucking game? How fucking dare you? Shame all of them. That's so fucking disrespectful. Like, how fucking dare they not mention him? And yeah, I know they probably will, congratulate him in the locker room and whatnot, but that is forever. The fucking that Super Bowl trophy thing presentation, that is forever. That's what everyone's going to look back on. And the fact that he never got mentioned once. Because if he missed those field goals, he would have been out the door as a failure, okay, to that team. He would have been out the door as a failure, as somebody who couldn't get it done, like Scott Norwood. Scott Norwood will always be remembered as the guy who missed the field goal for the Buffalo Bills, right? Right. That's what my point, though, is he's remembered as a punchline, okay? Jason got all these field goals in a crucial time importance in the game, and they're not mentioning him at all on the field. Shame on them all of them. The coach, the fucking goddamn fucking players that were on that podium, to not mention him once. Shame on them all. Shame on them all not giving his due publicly. I don't care if they fucking give him his dues privately, because they didn't show that, on the podium where everyone is watching. Fuck that. That is a fucking so disrespectful. And don't fucking tell me that they haven't done this before, because you know damn well they did it with Adam Vinatieri. Adam Vinatieri kicked the winning field goal, as time expired. They fucking interviewed him. So don't give me that bullshit that they don't fucking give kickers their due. That kicker deserved fucking recognition. He deserved to be on that fucking podium. He deserved to fucking be mentioned. He deserved to be Super Bowl MVP, okay? It's the biggest crock of shit that he was not mentioned once. It's a crock of shit that he was not Super Bowl MVP. It was a crack of bullshit that he was not mentioned once by his teammates or his coaches. I was watching NFL Network. And that's another thing. The networks weren't mentioning him either. NFL Network didn't say anything. They didn't interview him. Like, what the fuck, man? This guy was important to why they won the game. Yes, the defense was important too. Absolutely. And I wouldn't have had an issue with a defensive player winning Super Bowl MVP, because they definitely dominated that game. Not any of them. Any of those defensive players. They got the sacks, the fumble, the touchdown, if they gave it to Witherspoon, But the fact that it was an offensive player and it wasn't the kicker who got those crucial points that forced the Patriots to try and do something, Because if it's 3-0, if it's 0-0 going into the fourth quarter, the Patriots are probably playing a running attack. Not trying to have Drake May try to run around the field or try to fucking, throw it deep, trying to do deep shots, down the field. I'm sorry. And I know they probably praised him in closed doors, but to me, that's not fucking good enough. That guy should have gotten an interview. That guy should have been getting recognition. And shame on the networks, too, for not mentioning, because I haven't seen one network talk about him. All right? I didn't see NFL Network talking about his importance. I didn't hear anything about this guy. It was always Sam Darnold, Witherspoon, the MVP that shouldn't, or Walker, the MVP who shouldn't have gotten it over, fucking Jason. I mean, and it was rigged. It was clearly rigged. The guy wasn't in the fucking ballot for the first 15 minutes of the ballot being opened. Okay? Like, this is some straight up bullshit. Okay? It is. Don't give a fuck. It is fucking bullshit that this guy did not get in, as Super Bowl MVP. Ridiculous. That's all I gotta say. I'm out. I'm very disgusted at how Seattle handled it. So, that's all I gotta say. I'm out. I'm the SS Ultimate Goku. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm out. Peace.